So welcome to Diego, and you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Diego Meneses. I'm an expert in product design. I've been living in China for over 13 years, and I'm running a design agency here.
You mentioned you worked for some big companies in Shenzhen as well.
Yeah. Before I opened my company, I was working for TCL. At that time, I was leading the design team for wearables and accessories. And before that, I worked for Samsonite, the luggage company.
Yeah.
Well, my first design management job was as a design director. So kind of I jumped directly from senior designer to design director. But I was working for a, let's say, much smaller company, right? So it was interesting to see, handling in different companies, right?
Yeah. How would you recommend people to know which type of company suits them best? What are the differences?
If someone is a junior designer, they're just getting started, more convenient for them to start with a company where they have a large number of designers, just for them to find themselves into the system, right? And to see, how everybody works, right? And then they can have like a vision, okay, I want my career path to be like this or like that. Plus, they could be learning by assisting other people. This is the best way. Let's call it risk management, right? Because you can be involved in big projects, but obviously you're not going to have the highest responsibility and weight on you. You don't have the experience and the knowledge yet. Once people get more experience, I will challenge them to go to a smaller company where they have to do more things, For example, when I came to China, my first job here in China, I was initially, let's say, the industrial designer, but I was also designer, their logos, their packaging, their websites, their shops and everything. And it kind of challenged you to go beyond of what you do, to learn more, to explore more things, to figure out ways of finding solutions, right? And obviously now later you grow up in your career, you will be already a senior designer, which you can handle pretty much anything, any type of company, from a startup to a large corporation. But especially at the beginning, I would recommend, let's say, junior designers or interns, get into a company where you have a large number of designers for you to find your place.
What are the people you've met that you think, wow, these people, it might be better that they just stay with large corporations and earn a salary instead of exploring and adventuring?
I guess it all comes down to whether they have passion for whatever they're doing. Some people, they end up studying design because, I don't know, they didn't know what to study, and then they got into this, or they were pressured by someone, whatever, and they end up just doing a repetitive job, right? In my case, I have passion for it, so I don't feel that I'm like working, Sometimes I even forget about, I don't know, having a meal, whatever. I'm so concentrated in my work, right? And generally speaking, the designers that I've been working with, they always have the passion for it. Whenever, for example, I'm hiring someone, I'm always look for someone who has the passion for it, because I don't want that they feel pressure into doing something that they don't like, because if you don't like something, you're not going to put love into that. Right? So it always depends, whether someone is doing it by choice or just because there was nothing else that they could do and they end up doing it. Early in my university times, I was involved into many things, into music, into arts, like writing, whatever. Even at some point I felt like, I can do like different things, but I don't feel that I have the drive to go for any of that. And once I found design, I was like, that's the thing that I love. And I just went all the way, all my time, all my passion, everything went into that. And that's how I followed my career path. Right?
Yeah.
So it's important for the people to understand what's their passion.
I totally agree. Just for different people, it might take different number of years. Some people are very lucky, like you, they knew when they were in college, while others may take years to find it. But just recently, I told you that I actually just transitioned to be a professional coach last year. I just suddenly realized it. There are many things I'm good at and interested in for so many years, and people generally give me very good feedback, and I think I'm good at it. I don't hate it. But until I find coaching, I was like, not sure. Now I'm very sure, because everywhere is positive feedback, and also, as you say, I'm willing to do actually more than what people ask for, because you are proud of it, you enjoy it, this is it.
And you know, now that you're mentioning about coaching, about mentoring, also comes down to, especially when you have been working for many years and you have been learning and experiencing many things, it's like a hard drive, you know, you just put data and data and data that sometimes, you know, there's that much things that you can handle. You have to spread it out, you know, somehow.
Yeah.
You know, and it also gives you joy that, you know, you can share part of your life journey, some of that information that I can help others to grow.
Yeah.
And it also feels really nice, you know, internally. One of the reasons why I opened my company in the first place, right? Because I live here for many years. I work here. I made my career. I've learned so many things from in this country, in this city specifically. That's why I love Shenzhen. And I felt like I wanted to give something back. I also wanted to do with my companies to put Shenzhen in the global design spot. This is a thing that I want for the city that is becoming, you know, like a Silicon Valley of Asia that before was manufacturing, but now it's more about development and research and design. And many of the consumer products are actually now started to be designed here. So I wanted to do that. You know, my designers are all Chinese, you know, and I always work with Chinese designers. I've mentored designers that they didn't even speak a drop of English, and it's not that English is my first language because my first language is Spanish. Right? So it's not for them to communicate with me, you know. It's all about, you know, trying to understand their capabilities and how can you help them grow, you know, to follow their own path, and how can they, you know, match into the system. Obviously with certain degree of freedom for them to be proactive as well.
You mentioned that you have this philosophy of being like water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is, I mean, I guess like a Chinese thing, but also kind of like a Colombian thing. For us, it's just to find a way, you know? So being like water, something that is kind of my own philosophy, and even put it as my company philosophy. This is not about trying to be like a shapeshifter. It's more about finding your way. You know, like a river goes from point A to point B regardless how it have to turn. If you drop water through a pile of rocks, it will go down somehow. Find a way, because every problem has a solution. You just need to find it. And clients need solutions, right? For what you're doing. If you are proactive, if you're open-minded, if you have this holistic awareness, you will see the opportunities, you will see the ways to go. And you have the data and the information, then you can take decisions and do it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all about find a solution, you know?
Yeah.
And especially you're under pressure when things are not going that well in the market, worldwide, whatever is going on. You have to be like a hunter-gatherer, you know? Think by yourself. Find a way to, you know, solve the problems with whatever you have. Get creative. You can do it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I see how you mentioned that your water philosophy is slightly different from the Chinese type, because when we say be like water, it encompasses a lot of different dimensions. And what I see from a lot of people I know, they may see water as more reactive and passive, because they accept everything. Yeah, that's a shapeshifter. But what you said is different. It's like more like a river or a waterfall. It has an energy.
It's flowing.
Yeah.
There is no way back.
Yeah, it's
flow. Find your way.
Yeah, so that's why the proactive part makes sense. Yeah, indeed. I don't remember whether I mentioned to you. Recently, I'm very into design also because I was developing this course from Stanford that's called Design Your Life. Yeah, and then actually it was done by the design school of Stanford. At first I was like, man, because I'm not into a lot of brainstorming and things, but people always say in our country, in our cultural context, there are a lot of restrictions that are real. But then as I learned the philosophy behind their design thinking, I think I hear it resonates with what you shared. For example, our first lesson is about doing a journal. Doing a journal about what you do every day, which is very easy. But then they will teach you how you using different dimensions. You will see the activities you do, which one energizes you, which one drives you into flow state, and exactly, for example, this light or this sofa or that computer interaction makes you more energized, more efficient, like that specific. When I did that, I found it really helpful because that's the part that actually forces people to reflect on themselves and then help them find what they are passionate about. Because most people go, as I said, the Chinese word, her philosophy is like just flow, but just flow, not like they drive the flow, but they flow with others. But then what happens is then they don't take time to reflect on themselves. And then that's why a lot of people, when they hear stories like yours, they are like, great, you have passion, but I don't have. Yeah. So there's this step they need to take, probably with some tools to understand themselves. At first, it's uneasy, and they don't find anything. The people tell me they record things like kindergarten students. But gradually, they see a lot of patterns and they understand themselves more. That's also a Chinese philosophy. They say, before you go to the woods to cut trees, you have to actually sharpen your axe.
It's people's choice if they want to drive their journey, be like the river they ride, or if they want to become a pond, and just get stagnated somewhere, right? Find your way.
Yeah.
You know?
This environment, it requires us actually to be more proactive.
You have to.
Yeah, right. It's more like hunter-gatherer survival state now.
Yeah. We're living a different era. You have to take things with a grain of salt that things have to evolve. And you can also be part of making things change.
Yeah.
You can also create your own design process. I follow the design process that I have tailored through my life career, but sometimes when we need to advise a company to create their own in-house design team and create their own design process, it might change.
Yeah.
Because the company is different, their needs are different, their budget is different. So you have to be able to adapt and to create things,
The part you mentioned that we probably need to change is also why when we decided to do this course, I actually rewrote all of the examples. Because when I read the examples, as you say, it was like a white lady in her 40s who made her fortune in the Silicon Valley, and she decided that she wanted to do an NGO and blah blah. I'm like, yeah, nice, but I need to adapt to the Chinese. I mean, the Chinese graduates now are facing, they cannot find their first job. So that's not a white person 40-year-old problem. Yeah, so it's only when you adapt that you can, as you say, you can find things that actually suit you and suit this environment. I think that's the part we are human for.
Yes. When we have a global mindset, we can move, a society forward. A society of followers waiting for someone else to do something, or the ones that a society that we're going to create new things. And then other people might feel the challenge that they want to follow us, right? Are we waiting for someone else to do it first and then we follow? Or we want to take the risk, obviously, to be the first ones and get all the credit?
I think that's a good ending for, it sounds very promising for people who are willing to proactively communicate. And understand that only through communicating your value, you can create value for others and so achieve a lot of progress and personal freedom. Thank you. Cool. 一键三连哦。
一键三连。
很好。